Hi there. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's Anchor, ANCHOR.fm. I'm so happy I found Anchor. It's letting me create, and it makes things so easy to get your voice and your opinion out there. So what are you waiting for? Download Anchor today. Hi, my friends. Welcome to Faith-Filled Living. This is Karen. I hope you're all doing well and the new year is treating you good. Well, in tonight's episode, I wanted to talk about worry, stress, fear, something we all deal with living in this world, especially now. So many things to think about and worry about. I mean, the news, just crime and financial worries, and just go in the grocery store and things are going up, and illness, and on and on and on. So how do we deal with it? How do I deal with it? Well, that's what I wanted to speak about tonight and share some things that maybe will help. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read from Matthew and then share my experience, and then I will end the podcast episode. So I'm going to start reading from Matthew chapter 6, verse 25. And this is the NLT version, and Jesus is speaking. Matthew 6:25. That is why I tell you not to worry about everyday life, whether you have enough food and drink or enough clothes to wear. Isn't life more than food and your body more than clothing? Look at the birds. They don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you far more valuable to Him than they are? Can all your worries add a single moment to your life? And I'm going to end there. That was verse 27. So that verse, can all your worries add a single moment to your life? And honestly, it can't, right? Because we know that we are assigned a time to born and a time to die, as it says in Ecclesiastes. Our time to born was decided by God, and our time of death is decided by God. Now, of course, we are human and we're not robots. So I'm not saying this is easy, but I think sometimes, I know I'll speak for myself, worry can feel like, well, if I worry, then you feel kind of like more in control. You try to work it out in your head, and that doesn't work. And that's where the stress comes in. And what does stress do? Of course, stress affects your blood pressure. It can make you maybe eat more, overeat, cause, again, high blood pressure, cause you to maybe make some unwise choices to distract yourself, to not deal with it. And that doesn't work. That's only temporary. drinking or smoking or even looking at too much TV, because all that takes away from what can help. And what can help is Jesus, prayer, trust. How do we get that? Just being in our Bible, just continuing to cry out to God. Am I saying that's always easy? No, it's not. But He's the one that's going to hold your hand and get you through whatever you feel is something that you feel like right now you could never ever get through it. Say, if this happened to me, I could never ever get through it. I've said that. This happened, I wouldn't make it. I would die. But no, God will give you the strength at that time to make it and get through. Now, this December 2005, my father died 17 years ago. And my dad died of cancer. It was very hard for me. He had cancer. It went into remission. Then it came back. When I found out it came back, it was very difficult for me. I cried. I tried to hold it together. I went to my church. My church family was very good, very supportive. And it was hard though. It was hard for me to eat. It was hard for me to sleep. And I remember many times, especially when I got towards the end, I actually would shut off my phone because I felt if I got a phone call in the middle of the night saying that my dad died, I felt like I couldn't handle it. And I realize now that I needed to trust more, needed to know that God was gonna be there to catch me when I heard the news. And He did. Eventually my dad did die, and it was difficult, but I got through it. And yes, family and my church family, they were wonderful and they helped me get through it. But most of all, nights and times when you're alone, people can do but so much. But who was there all the time, 24/7, being with me, giving me peace, was God, was Jesus. He was there. And that's what I want you to remember, that He will get you through. And I just want to leave you with another verse in the Bible that reads from John chapter 16, verse 33. And it reads, this is Jesus saying, I have told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I have overcome the world. That's Jesus speaking. He says, on this earth you will have many trials and sorrows. I remember hearing a preacher said, doesn't say you may have, you might have, says you will have. But take heart because I have overcome the world. And that's been a very comforting verse for me, because yes, life isn't all butterflies and sunshine. It's not to be totally, life, Jesus doesn't want us to live a miserable life. We're here to love one another and be happy, but also know that when Jesus walked the earth, He knew He was going to die a torturous death. And if God sent His only Son on this earth to die for us, to suffer and die none of us will ever know the pain that he felt, then how can we question things that happen? Yes, we can question them. We may not understand them, but only God knows. And he does everything for our good. So, as I said, I just want to encourage you, when you start to worry, and I said it's not easy, but instead of getting ulcers or maybe raising your blood pressure where you get a heart attack, try to pray, try to open the Bible, listen to worship songs, and just trust that Jesus is going to work it all out. He will work everything out in the end. People who are maybe you're going through sadness, or maybe you just don't know what to do. Maybe people are against you, lying to you. People have betrayed you. Jesus went through all of that. People who were just evil and just did horrible things and lied. Don't fret. Don't waste your thoughts on the people like that. Let God handle them. Just bless them. God says to bless your enemies. He will do the rest. That's not for us to be judge and jury. Just continue to bless your enemies, and God will handle the rest. So with that, I will end this episode. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you in my next podcast.